Welcome everyone. We're ready to get started for the first breakout session. Really excited stuff, really excited to be here in Malaga. So this presentation is on connecting customer experience, why composability is key to integrated CX. And I'm Daniel DeLay. So the goals of this session, we'll start that first. The goal of this session, we're going to talk about the benefits of composability for digital marketers. We saw a lot about composability this morning. Today, we're going to look at a slice of that from the perspective of digital marketers. What composability means for marketers is an important message for Sitecore. That at times is very difficult to communicate. And we also saw this morning that Sitecore is acknowledging that that's been a hard message to communicate, and we're really trying to up the game there. So words like composable and benefits of composability, words like headless and SaaS, for digital marketers, it's like, wow, that's a lot. Us marketers, we don't always think in this sense. So the goal of this session today is to connect the dots between how composability compares to traditional all-in-one solutions. And then as a marketer, we are interested in data activation. How does composability help us with this? And the missing piece in composability for marketers today, what is it that will enable us to ultimately execute on our work? And the answer we'll take a look at Sitecore Connect. So introductions, who am I? I'm Daniel DeLay. I'm the VP of Development at Valier. And Valier is a digital agency focused just outside of Boston. And we do end-to-end digital marketing strategy, creative, implementation, and integration and managed services. We've been working with Sitecore since they moved to North America in 2006. We're platinum partners since it's been a thing. And I've been with Valier for almost 20 years. So also I'm a 7-time Sitecore MVP, and I first presented at a Sitecore conference before there were SUGCONs, before there were symposiums. There was a Dreamcore that was held in Boston, and so that was my first shot at doing this. Now, am I a digital marketer? Nope, I'm not. My background is in development. However, sorry, slide stuff. However, as my role has grown, it's become more and more important to see the larger picture. And putting together this presentation today has really helped me gain a lot of insights that I'm hoping to share with you today. So continuing with introductions, who are you? And this will help me shape the conversation a little bit. So how many actual digital marketers do we have in the room today? Go ahead and raise your hand. Excellent, some real digital marketers. And how many developers or IT or technical folks do we have in the audience? Awesome. Do we have any business analysts here today? Excellent. So today, for the rest of this chat, we are all now digital marketers. So let's just make sure we're all on the same page and quickly define what a digital marketer is today. And to do this, we wanted to ask ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, what is a digital marketer? And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it was very good. So a digital marketer works in digital channels, so search engines, social media, email, mobile apps, and we implement tactics and strategies that are going to help brand awareness, generate leads, acquire customers, drive sales. So some of the key responsibilities include things like creating and managing digital marketing campaigns. So maybe Sitecore Send can help with that. Conducting market research, analyzing consumer behavior. Maybe Sitecore CDP can help with that. Optimizing websites. Maybe Sitecore Personalize can help. And social media, search engine rankings. Managing email marketing campaigns. Again, Sitecore Send maybe can help with that. And creating and distributing content through various channels. Sounds a bit like XM Cloud. And so the last paragraph here, and this is why we're here today. Our field as digital marketers is constantly changing. We need to stay up to date so we can effectively reach and engage our target audience. And so some of the things we'll talk about today will explain why composable is key for letting us do that. So let's talk about some of the challenges, why our job as a digital marketer can be hard. So where organizations, specifically marketers, our content teams, our data teams are struggling is there's more channels all the time. This makes it really hard to know about our customers, our audience. We're having a real hard time keeping up with expectations. There's more content, more personalization, more types of stuff, more technologies. And so marketers are feeling all of this pressure. Couple this with teams downsizing, people taking on different responsibilities that they're not used to, and it can be overwhelming. So marketers don't wake up and they're like, oh my God, I need an enterprise-ready CMS. Or I really need a composable personalization platform, right? But we do say, I don't know who I'm talking to. And I need my marketing to be more effective so that I can get more budget and demonstrate success, right? So marketers don't wake up and, think of like the H word. And they're like, oh my gosh, headless. So I'm here today to show how composability is something that is empowering to marketing teams and provides us with flexibility. So according to Sitecore's website, where I grabbed this screen, the future is composable. And to really have this hit home and make sense, it's important to know a little bit about where we're evolving from and why that's no longer the best model. Sitecore started with content management, which they're really, really good at. And then they added something called Sitecore OMS. What is OMS? It's the Online Marketing Suite. Online Marketing Suite, everything you could ask for as a digital marketer, all in one. So Sitecore Online Marketing Suite provides advanced online marketing capabilities, such as content management, web analytics, visitor profiling, multivariate testing. Wow, this sounds really good. So Sitecore OMS was in charge from 2009 to 2011, but it had some challenges. Its interface wasn't always intuitive or flexible, and it didn't handle large amounts of customer data, which really impacted the performance of the websites. And then other systems on the market which focused on these capabilities more specifically were better established and more best in class. So here's a snapshot of a beautiful 2009 UI of Sitecore OMS. Now I mentioned a term from a previous slide, all-in-one. So it's time for our next definition. ChatGPT, what is all-in-one DXP? So we won't read the whole thing, but all-in-one combines multiple digital technologies into a single platform. So you have your content management, your CRM, your e-commerce, your marketing automation, analytics, personalization, and this gives us greater efficiency and scalability and agility, which is going to lead to more personalized and relevant experiences. All-in-one sounds really great, right? Okay. So in 2011, a DMS was born, Sitecore's Digital Marketing Suite. Digital Marketing Suite, it's actually named for digital marketers and has a new look, updated features, but it had a lot of the same problems. It was unintuitive UIs, still didn't handle large volumes of data well, and it was still competing against better established, best-in-class tools. 2014 XDB comes out, and this revolutionizes the way that Sitecore handles experience data, making it much more scalable. So clearly Sitecore is tackling the problem of handling large volumes of customer data. They're trying to get to a more customer 360 view. They're trying to collect the data closer to the customer interactions. So we're going to do this by smashing data silos and getting a full 360-degree view of every customer. And this brings us to today. We have the experience platform, Sitecore XP. And as an all-in-one platform, Sitecore now has a single solution for customer 360, personalization, optimization, analytics, engagement automation, email campaign management, and it all works. And I'd say this is a really impressive suite of tools that Sitecore has put together. They built it largely in-house, and many, many successful implementations of Sitecore XP using this suite of all-in-one digital marketing tools. So we spent some time talking about the all-in-one platforms, but this brings us back to composable. And for this, we have another definition. ChatGPT, what is a composable DXP? And we'll highlight some key points. So composable means your solution is put together from components or services from various vendors. Okay, so we're not locked into Sitecore. Rather than relying on a single monolithic solution. So what is another term for monolithic? All in one. Okay, so again, these are offered as separate services, and what this does is avoid vendor lock-in. Okay, and doing that can facilitate integration with enterprises, third-party applications, CRMs, and this is going to enhance the overall efficiency and effectiveness of the organization's digital operations. Sounds pretty good as well. Thanks, ChatGPT. So those sounds really great, but let's look at composable versus all-in-one from a couple different perspectives. So something that is hard to do with a single monolithic solution is keeping all of your systems up to date. And they talked about that this morning. And one of the great benefits you can have with composable is SaaS, software as a service. And this means that all the composable pieces that they've been talking about this morning, and you'll see the rest of this conference, they all run in the cloud. They require no infrastructure for you to set up and maintain. And if one of these systems need to be replaced, you can do that without bringing the whole house down. Automatically, all of your systems stay up to date. And then having solutions always on the latest version without needing to go through lengthy and expensive upgrade processes is so worth it. Our upgrade pains go away. At Valier, we do upgrade projects, and they're expensive. There's no way to get around that. So this is a really key perspective. The next perspective to share is this notion of freedom. So where you don't have to make as many sacrifices in certain areas of technology. So when you look at Sitecore XP, for example, is it the greatest A/B testing functionality? Probably not. But people are willing to go with XP for mediocre testing because it has powerful content management and powerful personalization. So we saw this term earlier, avoid vendor lock-in. With composability, you don't have to make those kinds of sacrifices. Technologies are now more capability-based than the fully integrated all-in-one options. So that's the second perspective I wanted to share. We saw this slide earlier this morning, and it shows the two ecosystems that are in play. The all-in-one is on the left, and on the right we have platform. We have the composable DXP grouped into three platforms. So the Content Cloud, Engagement Cloud, this is our baby as digital marketers, and the Commerce Cloud is also kind of relevant. And then we saw a slide kind of like this one that broke it down into smaller parts. And kind of focusing on the right, we have the Content Cloud pieces, and as a digital marketer, some of these are pretty important to us as well, even though they're not in the Engagement Cloud piece, such as a DAM for digital asset management, search, which as a marketer, I'm going to be really interested in product placement and display advertising, and XM Cloud for delivering to all of our channels. Then in the teal green, we have the Order Cloud for commerce and Discover to support our commerce-based search. And in kind of this tomato red color is the Engagement Cloud. So here we have our Send for email campaign management, CDP for that customer 360 and segmentation, and Personalize for personalization and optimization. And the newest one, Connect, to really get all of these disparate systems talking to each other. So I thought it'd be helpful to see how the all-in-one capabilities individually mapped to the capabilities of the composable Engagement Cloud. So in XDB, we had Customer 360, so we now have that in Sitecore CDP. Also, we have analytics there, but really, actually, we have some analytics in each one of these composable areas. Personalization from XP goes into Sitecore Personalize, as well as optimization with A/B testing. Email campaign management goes into Sitecore Send, and as well as the engagement automation becomes the marketing automation. And as we mentioned, some of these related composable products also valuable to a digital marketer. So you have search. So note that there are two search platforms now. Sitecore Search for your content-based website and Sitecore Discover for your commerce-based solutions. And with these, you can do some really cool things in digital marketing. So like you can do your product advertising. You can have AI for persona-based relevancy, and you can have your results integrated with commerce to show like related parts, components, and special offers. And then there's Order Cloud. And this has some really interesting digital marketing capabilities too, such as identifying and retargeting customers who maybe didn't complete their shopping cart. Maybe you want to send out a new marketing campaign to these folks to re-engage them. Order Cloud, you can do that. And digital asset management. Okay, we're going to be working with a lot of digital assets. Maybe the Sitecore Media Library isn't cutting it for you. You can get some really cool features like digital rights management. You can get better performance through better image scaling and caching options, and all of this is really going to help your SEO. Okay, so I went to Sitecore's website, and they share 6 reasons on the website why Composable is going to improve our lives as a digital marketer. And the first 3 are about ease of use, and I thought it would be good just to validate that these are true. So the first one, faster time to value. And I'm going to say yes. The key here is SaaS, so software as a service. There's no infrastructure that's set up. You just go online, say I want this, and blam. There's your instance of personalize or send or CDP. No development is needed. You can log in and start using it right away. And then best of breed approach. As we saw with the all-in-one model, it's hard to compete with capability-based solutions that do one thing and do that one thing very well. So that's true too. Customer-centric. So this one had a lot of flashy words. Slick omni-channel experiences, seamless, build likability, trust, and loyalty. But the phrase that got me is you can adapt as required. You can be nimble. If it's time to switch to a different CDP or you want to use another campaign management tool, Composability does make that easier. So this allows us to have a better customer-centric vision as we build and evolve our MarTech stack. So okay, I'll buy it. The other 3 reasons Sitecore says Composability will support digital marketers is about flexibility. So first one, flexibility to integrate with existing marketing stack. So yes, if you already have Marketo, but you need to increase your ability to leverage segmentation with CDP, yeah, you can do that. If you want to use Sitecore Send and personalize, but you already have a CDP such as Segment, you can do that. So compared to all-in-one, say marketing department really has their eyes on another personalization engine, but maybe you just can't justify the cost because you already have a personalization engine in your all-in-one solution. So this flexibility can really help. So I'll say yes. Specifically tailored and solutions. So if your audience is highly receptive to email marketing, then yes, you want Sitecore Send. But if email marketing isn't your thing, that's cool too. You don't need to acquire it. And if you really want to personalize the website and create a stronger connection with your audience, you can do that too. You can just get personalized. So you can get just the pieces that your organization and your marketing budget wants to take on. So, all right. And then the last one here, technology freedom. So we saw something earlier that this is the answer to vendor lock-in. So the feeling of locked in can happen where all of my data, all of my customizations, all of my experiences are all here in this all-in-one system. And the costs are prohibitive to allow me to migrate to a new, better for my business technology. So now we can control our own destiny. If you want to move your marketing practices to Marketo, you can. If you want to move from Marketo to Sitecore Send, you can. So, all right, I'll buy that. So now that we've established our composable digital marketing suite, it's time to introduce Sitecore Connect. So the first question we ask ourselves with Sitecore Connect is, which will be the official product icon? Because this is really throwing me off. So they got the one at the top with the stars, and then they got the one at the bottom with the connector. And I was watching the slides in the keynote today. Most of them used the connector version, but at the end I saw one that had the stars. So I don't know. Inquiring minds. Now, because Sitecore Connect lets us do less work and more flow. So there's a pun here, but it's workflow. So that's what Sitecore Connect is about, is it creates workflows between all of the different systems in our composable DXP. So my obligatory quote. Over 77% of Workato clients go live with their first automation within 1 week of account setup. So forget that it says Workato. We're talking about Sitecore Connect, but they're the same thing. And so we can go back to one of the composable benefits, faster time to value, and that's this. So I've pumped up Sitecore Connect a bit, and now we can't wait to actually see it, and I do have some more slides actually looking at Sitecore Connect. But first, to really truly understand why this is significant to digital marketers is we want to look at a few concepts. So the first one is Customer 360, which promised a complete view of all of our customers and their interactions. Customer 360 is supposed to solve the problem of not having the right data in the right place at the right time. And creating a complete customer view enables better decision making and allows us to turn customer experiences into a competitive advantage. So that sounds really good. We want that. According to Gartner reports, of businesses working towards Customer 360, only 10% of customers actually achieve it. Okay. So again with Gartner, they said most companies run into 3 roadblocks. What are these? So the need to connect many data sets and applications. So we've seen how many systems we have, and now they all need to share data to be effective. How do we get all these systems to talk to each other? So in short, there can be too many systems, too many data sets to connect, making your technology ecosystem complex and heavy and not agile. So maybe Sitecore Connect can help. Now, organizations and customer behaviors are constantly changing. Development times are slow. Saw a little bit of focus on this morning as well. The rate that businesses and customer behaviors are changing is always increasing, and we feel this. So we need to be able to bring in new tools and new data to meet these challenging needs. And who usually implements these tools? Developers and IT and folks like that, and because they have the skill sets needed to do these kinds of integrations. But when we need to move fast and we need to get development involved, this is going to create a bottleneck. More time is needed to get these resources. Time and development are going to make project costs go up. So where we see many companies fail to achieve this Customer 360 is because they do not enable their business teams, such as digital marketers, to play an active role in the customer data integration. So we're going to see that with Sitecore Connect, digital marketers can now play this active role. And Customer 360 was never designed to be actionable. What does that even mean? Not even designed to be actionable. So there was a big push to get to Customer 360, to know everything about your customer as possible. And for the roughly 10% of companies who have achieved Customer 360, then the struggle was to actually take action on that data. The data is often stored in like a data warehouse or a CDP. And as a digital marketer, that data is hard to get to, but I need it in order to drive data activation. So the data is stored here, And that's really too far away from the point of customer actions. Where I need to be is here. So when they're saying Customer 360 is not designed to be actionable, they're saying it's missing this. It's missing data activation. So one more definition. What is data activation? And so it's using data to inform and optimize business decisions and actions. So we take the raw data, this is your Customer 360 data, and we're transitioning it into meaningful insights, okay? And we use that to drive specific actions and outcomes. So to not have our Customer 360 data fail, we need our data to be actionable. We need data activation. All right, so here's my obligatory meme slide. Not a big meme person, but it was relevant. I'll explain. So there's a perspective that we want to get this Customer 360 data as close to the customer as possible. And the data in your CDP, the data in your CRM or your central database repository, it's relatively far away. You could say a galaxy far, far away. And the data is old, relatively speaking. It's sitting, aging inside your CDP. So it's from a long time ago. Bam. So that's my obligatory meme. Thank you for tolerating that. We can ask ourselves, what does it take to get this actionable data? Maybe our data's in a dashboard powered by BI tools. As a digital marketer, are we trained to use these BI tools? Not really. Do we have to go to a dashboard every time we want to run a new query and run a report? We don't really want to do that. We want to get this data into the systems where we actually want to use it. And so what I'm describing is that this data is far away. And what is going to help us in this concept of digital marketing is an idea called reverse ETL. And as a digital marketer, you may be familiar with this, but reverse ETL is the mechanic we need to leverage actionable data, to actually do data activation, to actually make our Customer 360 successful. And we'll see that Sitecore Connect is the tool that lets us do that. So here's a fairly complex slide, and I just wanted to bring it up before we go into Sitecore Connect, just to show a little bit about I found this ironic, some of the irony of the ETL process. So to get to Customer 360, what we need to do is extract our customer data out of our data sources. Those are our email campaign management tools, CRMs, NetSuite, our ads, our analytics, our personalization tools. We extract the data from these data sources. We load them into a data warehouse, a CDP, a data lake, and then we do some transforms on that to get some intelligence out of it. But to really make our data actionable, we can't stop there. The next step is reverse ETL, to take the data that we just collected out of our data sources and has been transformed and push it back into our data source applications. Our analytics, our personalization, our email campaign management tools, our CDPs for segmentation. So it's kind of funny. We need to take the data out of our data sources, transform it, but then to have it be actionable, we have to put it right back in. And that's where Sitecore Connect can also really help. So Sitecore Connect is Sitecore's solution for connecting all of our customers' data sources and customer activation platforms together. Connects our CDPs to our email campaign management, to our analytics, to our personalization, to our content management, to our CRM, and any of the other workflows we might use in our system, such as even Slack and Jira. So Sitecore brought this into the DXP because with all of these composable solutions, we need a tool that can easily connect them together. So Sitecore brought in a platform called Workato. And in many ways, Sitecore Connect is Workato. So whereas Workato is capable of connecting entire enterprise infrastructures together, Sitecore brought this one in to service a very specific need. As we mentioned, all of these tools are part of the DXP, and we need the DXP, our composable platforms, talking to each other. So Workato is a type of platform called iPaaS, which is Infrastructure Platform as a Service. And there's other iPaaS platforms, which is Dell Boomi, MuleSoft, but Spiceworks.com had a very nice description of Workato. They said, enterprise automation company Workato is named a leader as per the Forrester Wave and the Gartner Magic Quadrant. And unlike some other iPaaS solutions on the list, Workato is suitable for small organizations, mid-sized businesses, and large enterprises alike. It fits seamlessly into your existing technology stack for IT, marketing, HR, finance, sales support, and product development. The Workato platform is a low-code and easy-to-use solution. So I actually think Sitecore did a really good job of vetting iPaaS solutions, picking Workato as the one to bring into their DXP. So now Sitecore Connect is connecting not everything in your company's enterprise architecture, but rather specifically those tools that are part of the digital marketing campaign. So Sitecore Connect is this for digital marketers. If we are a bit technical, maybe not a developer for sure, but we understand how systems connect to each other, and we know what the data needs to look like. Okay, then we can often create and edit our own workflows to collect and use data across channels and to be timely as customer interactions evolve. So we likely won't need to recruit a development to get the updates we need. And this is great because, as we talked about, development's going to take more time. We have to compete for prioritization with other business initiatives to get stuff done. We need to move fast. So here's a first glimpse at a recipe. So Sitecore Connect has workflows, and workflows are essentially what they call recipes. And we'll take a look at a recipe more closely. So a recipe is your workflow script that contains all of your connections, triggers, and actions. Those are the three things: connections, triggers, and actions. So when you're managing a workflow, you're essentially managing what Sitecore Connect calls recipes. And there are many recipes that Sitecore comes with out of the box, showing how to do workflows between all the common systems: Slack, Jira, Salesforce, Marketo. And Sitecore will be creating more out-of-the-box recipes for all the common workflows between all of the different DXP platforms that they have. So we're looking at a recipe here on the right, and I apologize if it's a bit blurry. So it has a trigger, which we'll talk about more in a minute, which says if there's a new or updated product in Salesforce, that's the trigger, then perform these actions. And then there's some logic for the actions. So first it's going to see if this product already exists in NetSuite. You can replace that with whatever system you're working with. And if it doesn't already exist, then it's going to make a new record. And if it does, then it's going to update it. So that's it. There's no code needed. We can manage this workflow ourselves. If we need to add in some new fields to pass over, we can do that without having to write any custom code or doing a deployment to production. So connections, a recipe is going to be a workflow that connects two systems together. So connections are those endpoints that lets Sitecore Connect talk to the other systems. And you can see here, there's kind of a lot of connections that kind of Workato already and their community already built that we get to inherit into Sitecore Connect. And then Sitecore is building all kinds of new ones. So there's a connection wizard here for all the common systems. You put in your credentials. And so again, often no code is needed to set up your connections. Here's an example of entering in the credentials for Sitecore CDP. So that already works. And then we mentioned triggers. And so triggers are things that cue your workflow to run. And there's a lot of different options here. We'll look at just a few of them. So like polling, triggers can poll periodically to collect information. So say you have a marketing landing page and you want to poll every hour to see how many people are seeing your page. You can have triggers that are real-time events. This is a very common one. So like a trigger can be, did a user just submit a form, create a new account, or complete a goal? Or it can be scheduled to run your workflow at a particular time each day, like to send you like the latest segment of customers to your email marketing tool each morning. And then here we have an example of creating a new recipe. And the first thing we're going to do is select a trigger. So you can kind of see that they're all here out of the box. And then here is a very simple workflow or a recipe that we can walk through. So this one here, this one has two connections between HubSpot and Sitecore CDP. And so the trigger is someone creates a contact in HubSpot. And then it's going to have actions below that. And so the action in this case is really simple. We just want to copy over that new account data into our CDP profile. And that's done. And you can make your own recipe or workflow to make this run in reverse. Say something else updates your CDP profiles, and we want that in HubSpot. You can just reverse the direction. So just a couple more slides to wrap this up. So Sitecore Connect has its own analytics. So we can kind of see here some graphs of the successful jobs that have been running. You can kind of alert us to any unsuccessful jobs that have been running. And then every time a workflow runs, that's a job. So you can see here all of the jobs that have run or are currently running. So I hope this was helpful, kind of seeing a high-level view of what Sitecore Connect looks like. And so I just want to summarize some of the things that we looked at today. So we started with all-in-one versus composable. And we found out that composable, all right, that's good. We can avoid vendor lock-in. We don't have to make sacrifices on what technologies we use. We can be more capability-based, use tools that are best in class. And we're using software, SaaS solutions. Software as a SaaS, can't talk now. But yeah, SaaS is good. And then we explored some key concepts. Customer 360, data activation and reverse ETL for being able to do our data activation. And we looked at Sitecore Connect. So we can now connect all of the data. And as we're looking at all those composable pieces, this really answers the question. It's like, what is that connective tissue? How do we get all these things talking to each other? There's still something to do there. And we can manage our workflows ourselves. We talked about this today too, empowering our digital marketers. We're still going to need development for some things, maybe setting up some initial connections. But once that's done, this is really in your hands as a digital marketer that you can go in, be nimble, be agile, move at the speed that your customers are moving. And we can use it to achieve data activation, to get our data out of our CDPs, out of our data lakes and repositories and master central DBs, and into the tools that are actually leveraging our segmentation, our personalization, our optimization, and marketing tools. So you can reach me, Daniel.delay on Sitecore Slack. There's a Twitter account because they made me put one in here, but I never check it, so don't use that one. So there's also some other ways. Here's my email address, which is probably better, Slack, LinkedIn, Twitter again. And of course, thanks to all of the sponsors that made this such an awesome conference and experience. So thank you. And maybe we have time for a couple questions. 5 minutes, if there's any questions. Yes? I actually have 2 questions. Yeah? Yes, and oh yes, thank you. With Sitecore Connect, does it have the abilities to connect to the all-in-one capabilities? And yes, so Sitecore is viewing this. This is one of the bridges to really help your clients, who are not quite ready to go all in to the composable architecture, but maybe they want to move stepwise. Maybe they're already on the XP, but they want to start using personalization, or they want to start using send. So yes, absolutely, you can use Connect to get those together and to help bridge clients into that next step. Mhm. 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 Well, thank you, Peter. You kind of saved me on that one. Yep, right here.